Did you know that you can think your way out of fear, anxiety, and mood swinging? I used to do that all the time. You can think your way out of distress, anger, sadness, and even addiction. Let me tell you how. Well, let's think about it basically. When you receive information through your senses, like what you can see, what you hear, what you can touch, and so forth, what you smell, your brain interprets or makes sense of those pieces of information and essentially creates a thought. Your thoughts essentially are the activation of electrical impulses in your brain that then stimulate a network of neurons, those are brain cells, which trigger the release of chemical signals called neurotransmitters. Now, you've probably heard of a couple of common neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. Well, thoughts are both the results of your brain's activity as it's communicating all these electrical impulses and so forth, and thoughts influence your brain's activity. So it's a double whammy there. Not only are they the result of the activity, but they also influence your brain's activity. And that's really, really good news because thoughts shape or rewire your brain, the electrical circuitry of your brain. Thoughts light up your brain. Have you heard of fMRIs? That's functional magnetic resonance imaging. Well, that measures the changes in blood flow in your brain and can give you a good idea where your brain is most active. Because your thoughts can change your brain, they can change your emotions, and more importantly, your behavior. If I had some in my hand, some dominoes, I would say thoughts are just like dominoes. And each domino would represent a neuron, that's the brain cell. And as it's being electrically stimulated and releasing those neurotransmitters and then charging up the next neuron, they're all really connected like a big gigantic network. Then that's exactly what's happening when you think. Thoughts are like dominoes, and when one neuron fires an electrical signal, it can release a neurotransmitter that triggers the next neuron in the sequence to fire, and so on, creating a cascade of electrical and chemical signals that represent the thought. Now that sounds really kind of technical in a way. To me, it's fascinating. Neuroscience is absolutely fascinating. Because back in 2016, I realized that my thoughts led me into a state of depression. Once my mentor encouraged me to learn what it meant to take my thoughts captive and bring them under submission to Christ, and that's coming from 2 Corinthians 10:5, guess what happened? Well, I began to change. I was transformed through the renewing of my mind, and that's Romans 12:2. I thought my way out of depression, and you can too, by choosing to think God-honoring thoughts about you, about your scenarios or your life situations, and about God himself, his very character. You can live your life in a way that God intends for you to live it. If you can think your way into an icky situation in life or a way of living, then you can definitely think your way out. And that's exactly what I did. And my life has never been the same since then. Well, if you want to know more about all of this, visit my website at choosetothink.co, or make sure you subscribe to the Choose to Think Inspirational podcast. We have a YouTube channel as well. Make the podcast a favorite wherever you listen, and you keep living your best thought life.